to my YouTube channel. Just tell you a little bit about me. My name's Imi. I've been in the tiling trade for almost 18 years. Basically, in that period of time, I've learned a hell of a lot to do with tiling, especially how to obviously cut tiles correctly, how to put tiles on, how to silicone properly, how to grout properly. So today in this video, what I would like to show you guys is obviously how to cut a tile correctly, the professional way, as regards to how it should be done via manufacturers, and also how all the tile stores in the UK actually tell people how to cut tiles. As we get into it, first of all, what I'd like to do is I'd like to show you guys the machine that I'll be using here. This machine particularly here is called a Rubi TS Plus 66. Just to give you a general overview of the machine, what you've got here is a lever. The lever obviously has got a pivot on it at the bottom here, as you can see, and that pivot is obviously what helps break the tile as well as these claws here. So as you rotate it, the claw comes up and these jaws, they come down to crack the tile in half. And then what you've got is you've got the rails here that the handle itself runs along, as you can see, smoothly, to obviously put the blade into to cut the tile. Then what we've got here is we've got a guide as regards to if you're doing repetitive cuts. What you can do is you can place the tile on there, for argument's sake. You can measure it, lock it, and do many repetitive cuts at the same size without obviously having the need to keep remeasuring the tile. So that's an additional feature of the Rubi TS66 Plus. Then we'll move to the blades. The blades actually go into the machine like so. They drop into the hole. Would you like to show the hole? Got the hole there. Okay. The blade can only go in one way. So the blade actually drops in. And then what you do is with the lever on the side here, you twist in motion, and it locks it in place. To take the blade out, you untwist it anti-clockwise, and the blade will release. So just to give you guys a quick overview of the blades, this particular blade here is a 6mm Rubi blade. This blade here is typically used to cut ceramic tiles. Now a lot of tilers, I understand, they don't tend to buy obviously all the different blades that you're meant to use with this particular machine. They generally buy one blade and obviously expect that blade to do absolutely everything. Unfortunately, that is not the case. It doesn't work that way. These carbide tip blades are designed for different purposes. The 6mm one is purposely designed for a ceramic tile. Then what I've got here is I've got a 10mm blade. The 10mm blade is used for flat polished porcelain tiles. Then we move on to this one, which is an 18mm blade, which is also then used for heavy duty hard surfaces for ceramic tiles. Then we do another one, which unfortunately I haven't got here today with me. It's in my tool case at home, but that one is a 10mm blade. It's in between both of these, and what that's typically used for is heavy riven, meaning bumpy porcelain tiles. So that's generally what you got to use each individual blade for. Now if these are used with the wrong tile, the rotation of that can burn the tungsten out, and obviously which means that you'll have to buy these blades sooner. Now these blades, they're not very expensive. They retail approximately around about £9 per blade, and they should last you approximately, I'd say on average, maybe 5-6 bathrooms, possibly more, depending on how you use them and what method they're used in. But like I said, the whole sole purpose of today is to show you guys exactly how to use this machine, not only this machine but also various other machines as well, and to give you an overview on how a tile is cut properly, the correct method of cutting a tile. Now just to tell you a little bit about this machine is my own. I've had it for many years. It's a Rubi TS66 Plus, which is the professional's choice. This machine retails at approximately £279.99. Now obviously, as a DIYer, I wouldn't expect you guys to obviously buy this kind of machine. My recommendation would be to obviously buy a cheaper machine. Machines, you know, from most tile stores throughout the world, they range from £19.99 and go up to, you know, £800 to £1,000. However, we're using this one today for the demonstration purposes. So what we'll do is we'll go straight into the demonstration now and give you guys an insight into how professionals actually cut tiles. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the 6mm blade, the Rubi blade. We're going to drop it into the carrier, loosen this a little bit. drop it straight into the carrier and tighten up the handle. Okay, so as you can see, that's quite firm now, it's not going anywhere. Then what we'll do is we'll just grab a tile. Now this is just a basic ceramic wall tile. It's 500mm in length and 200mm in depth, in width, sorry. So basically just a bog standard tile that, you know, most people buy for general refurbishments, or a lot of people that are doing student lets or letting out houses tend to buy. They normally use it with some mosaic to spice it up a little bit, to make it look modern and to give it a fresh look. So we're going to go with this tile. It's the one I've chosen today. So we'll dive straight into it. So the first thing you do is, obviously depending on, you know, how you want to cut the tile. So say for argument's sake I want to cut the tile about here. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and mark it quickly. Okay, so just put one mark on it. Then what I'll do is I'll get the tile and place it onto the bed of the actual tile cutter. And as you can see, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to line the mark up with the center of that little mark there. There is a little marking on there, so ideally try to mark it up as close as you can to it. It's not going to be 100%, but try to get it as close to it as possible. I'll explain why in a second. Then what we do is, with the arm and the blade, we're just going to rest it above the tile, so I can actually put my finger through the tile at the moment, and we're just going to run it up to make sure that obviously our blade is running on top of our line. Now at the moment it's about, I'd say about a millimetre out, so I'm just going to move it over a little bit. That's directly on top of the line now, so I know that's straight, and we're going to cut the tile basically on that line. Now before I do any cutting, what I'm going to do is make sure that the tile is flat up against this flat edge against here. The last thing you want to do is have the tile at an angle and not get a straight cut. So now moving on to doing the actual cut itself. So once you've actually lined the blade up and you're happy the blade is running along the line that you've made, bring the blade all the way back without touching the tile. Now the trick here is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the blade onto the machine. However, I'm only going to score the tile once. I'm not going to score it more than once. The trick is to score it only once. Now the reason for scoring it once is, it's like, if I can give an example, like train tracks. If a train's on a train track and it's running on one train track, and then all of a sudden, you know, there's loads of train tracks, the train's not going to know which way to go. That's a similar kind of like situation here. What you're trying to do is you're only scoring the tile once. The reason for that is when you actually go to break the tile, when the tile breaks, it will follow that line. Now if you keep doing repetitive scores onto the tile, what will then happen is the tile will shatter, and it won't obviously give you a clean cut, and it won't actually cut on that particular line. It'll just, you know, go everywhere. So that's the reason why you give it a good score, not too heavy, not too light, a medium type of score. You'll understand once you start doing it, but only ever score the tile once. So I'm going to go straight into the score. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the blade onto the tile, apply a generous amount of pressure, and I'm applying the pressure now, and I'm going to run from this point to that point once. Okay, so now I've scored the tile. You can just about see the score there. Okay. Now, before I do anything else, I'm removing the blade away from the tile, which is very important because a lot of people, what they tend to do is they tend to break the tile with the blade still on the tile. This is incorrect. You do not do that because you will shatter the tile into loads of pieces. So move the blade away from the tile. So now the blade is well away from the tile. It's not anywhere where you're going to break the tile. So now what you do is with this lever, you just gently pull the lever towards you. Okay, apply a bit of pressure and crack. Now as you can see, the tile's cracked in half, and as you can see the cut there as well, perfect for any professional tiling purposes. No issues with that tile at all. Okay guys, so that brings me to the end of obviously this first session of how to cut tiles. Oh sorry, before we finish, I'd just like to show you guys something as well. With these type of machines, don't try to cut tiles where you've got more tile on one side and less tile on the other. With these type of machines, what tends to happen is if you try to break that, there's more leverage on this side of the tile and less on this side. So when you apply pressure there to break the tile, it's going to snap here in this kind of motion, snap off there. You don't want that. So the way to obviously, you know, cut this again would be to cut it in half. So let me just cut it again. So remember, again, one score. So there we go, one score, moving the blade away from the machine again, away from the breaking area, and then again, snap. Now I can bring that tile in and cut it again. Make sure it's flat up against here as well. And I'll attempt this again, just to give an example of how to get smaller slithers on tiles. So, again, blade away from the tile, and just go ahead. Sometimes, as you can see here, the score's only gone halfway. It's only cracked the tile halfway. So in this instance, what you can do is get the tile, rotate it 180 degrees, place it in exactly the same place, and crack it from the reverse. And there we go. Perfectly cut tile. And then obviously you can drop this into half again if you want to, you know, if you feel brave enough. You should be able to do it. You may have to obviously repeat that process that I just done, where you only cracked it halfway, rotate it 180 again, and crack it from the opposite way. So that's another way to cut tiles. Please guys, obviously, you know, if you have any questions, any queries, like I said, I've been in this profession for 18 years. I can do any cut that's out there that needs doing. If I don't know how to do it, I'll definitely try it, and obviously, you know, give you guys an insight into how to do it. But pretty much I've got it all covered. I'll be able to do, you know, any cut you want me to do. If you have any questions, please obviously, you know, put a comment down. If you like my video, please give us a thumbs up. Obviously subscribe if you like what I'm doing. Just to give you an insight into what I will be doing is, this is just a basic entry-level tile cutting video that I've done. My next video, what I will be doing is I'll be using an electric machine, a wet machine, tabletop machine, and obviously on there I'll be able to show you guys how to do a plunge cut, meaning for example, if I wanted to cut a square, for argument's sake, a square out of that tile, I'll show you how to do that. If I want to cut this tile on a curve, I'll be able to show you guys how to do that. Obviously I'll be showing you different methods of cutting tiles, different tools of cutting tiles. The main tools that you will need is obviously a normal flatbed like so, an electric machine with a wheel which obviously has water in there, and a pair of nippers, and also a file as well to obviously, you know, get the cut clean. So they're the cutting videos that I'll be doing. Then moving on from that, I'll be showing you guys how to actually spread adhesive onto tiles correctly. I'll be showing you guys how to grout correctly, the correct method of grouting, and the professional method of grouting, where you won't have any haze left onto the tiles the following day once they've been grouted. I'll be able to show you the correct method of doing that, either using a wash boy or just using a basic bucket, water, a bit of residue remover, and a sponge. And then I'll be showing you guys how to actually set tiles out in bathrooms, where to start, where to finish, and general plumbing stuff as well. So like I says, you know, if you guys have any questions, queries, if you're unsure about anything, I'm always here to help you guys. I've been in this industry for a very long time. I'll be able to give you hands-on experience, answer all your questions that you have. So please like, subscribe, and obviously, you know, feel free to ask me any questions that you want. Okay, thanks, bye.